Cross Group is sponsoring this debate because we believe voter participation and education are crucial to the electoral process. Our local economy and the community vision for Riverside require that we have city leadership that will act decisively but with discretion and fairness and foresight to ensure our quality of life. The Rain Cross Group, Charter Communications, and the Press Enterprise hope this debate will promote further civil discussion of the issues in connection with the current campaign for mayor. We are fortunate tonight to have as our moderator Brad Pomerantz. Brad is the host of California Edition, airing on the California Channel and Charter Communications 101. He is an award-winning journalist for his work on television and radio throughout California. Thank you, Brad, for agreeing to moderate the Rain Cross debate. The show is now yours.
Thank you, Wendell, and thank you all for being here tonight at the Riverside Mayoral debate. I'm very pleased to be moderating. My name is Brad Pomerantz. I host California Edition for Charter Communications. I want to specifically thank the Press Enterprise and Nels Jensen. I want to thank Charter and Del Hines, Sandra Magana, CBU, Kent Dakis, and of course the Rain Cross Group for sponsoring this event. This, of course, is a great opportunity to inform the public on the issues facing the beautiful city of Riverside as the city prepares to choose its next mayor on November 6th. As we all know, one of the best ways to be a good citizen is to vote. And the best way to do that is by making an informed choice. It is my hope that this debate will help voters feel better prepared to cast their ballots and more willing to participate in our democracy. Now, as your moderator, I will ask several questions that have been assembled by a committee made up of Rain Cross Group members and representatives of the Press Enterprise, the debate sponsors. Our format also includes the opportunity for each candidate to ask his opponent 2 questions each. The questions the candidates will ask each other come from each candidate and have been vetted before tonight's debate to ensure fairness. I want to thank you all for joining us for the Rain Cross debate. I'd like to turn our attention to the candidates themselves. The candidates in the order in which they appear on the ballot are Ed Adkison. Mr. Adkison runs a civil engineering firm and served 2 terms on the city council. And then Rusty Bailey, who is in his 2nd term on the city council. He teaches government at Poly High School. And I thank you both for agreeing to participate and congratulate you on advancing from the primary. Now, as with any debate, we have some rules, and we will begin with the candidate's 2-minute introductory statement. Afterward, I will begin asking questions of the candidates. Each candidate will give an answer lasting 90 seconds or less, followed by a 30-second rebuttal by the candidate's opponent. Sprinkled through the debate will be opportunities for the candidates to ask questions of each other. On those questions, the candidate asking the question must do so within 30 seconds, and the other candidate will have 1 minute to respond. There will be no rebuttals on these questions. Once all the questions are finished, each candidate will provide a 2-minute closing statement. As the moderator, it is within my purview to invite a panelist to follow up on a question or ask a candidate to focus their answer more closely on the question being asked. If I feel a candidate is avoiding a question, I reserve the right to ask the candidate to be more specific and more to the point with their answer. Of course, we respectfully ask the audience to refrain from excessive applause. Such excessive applause only takes away from time available to the candidates to answer the panel's questions. With that, we have already spoke with the candidates, and we have agreed that Rusty Bailey will offer his opening statement, followed by Ed Adkison. Mr. Bailey.
Well, thank you once again to the sponsors that hosted tonight and opened their doors to the Mayoral Forum. Thank you all for coming tonight and listening to us and being informed voters. Congratulations, Ed, for making it to the playoffs here. Much more room on the stage than there was last time, and hopefully time to talk. But we are better together in Riverside. Isn't that true? We are better together. What I want you to know about Rusty Bailey tonight is he is a man of faith, family, and friends whose heart's desire it is to serve this city. To serve this city and leave a legacy of good government and economic growth to my daughters and to future generations of Riversiders. I love this city. and I'm committed to its long-term future. I am proud to be a Riversider, and I hope you are too. 6 generations of Baileys have lived in Riverside, 3 of them still alive, serving this city, or in school in this city. And that started with my grandfather, who went away to school and came back to Riverside to serve in the school district. My father, who went away to get educated and come back and serve this city in the court system. And I followed the same way after being supported by my Pauley High School faithful, sending me away to West Point, where I graduated and became a helicopter pilot, platoon leader, and company executive officer, later going to UCLA to get a master's of public policy, and was awarded a presidential management fellowship for 2 years back in Washington, D.C. I was married during that time, working for Housing and Urban Development, and then in the executive office of the president. After those years, my wife and I looked at each other and said, where do we want to raise our family? And it was a pretty easy answer. There is no better place to raise a family than Riverside. So we came home, my wife, a Notre Dame high school graduate, and she went back to teaching. I worked at the County Economic Development Agency, working with a number of companies to create investment and to bring jobs to this city. My top 3 issues are maintaining and creating jobs in Riverside, ensuring we have the best education, enriching education
Mr. Bailey,
in
we
Riverside.
need to end the opening
Sure.
statements when you have it.
Sure. And increasing the quality of life throughout all our neighborhoods.
Ed Adkison, please.
Thank you very much. First of all, I want to thank the hosts for inviting me here tonight. And secondly, I'd like to thank my wife, Judy, of 32 years, for being by my side with me. Third, I'd like to thank Mayor Loveridge for serving, actually being an elected official longer than Judy and I have been married. But come November, there's going to be a change, and that's what you are here tonight for, is so you can listen to us and make an informed decision when you vote come November 6th. You know, I had the opportunity to spend a lot of time with my grandfather, who only had an 8th grade education, and he taught me the values of honesty and integrity. My father left high school to forge his career in the working world, and he worked hard all his life. It was a short life. He didn't make much money, but he was rich in a lot of other ways. And I've carried those values with me during my life, and I carried those values with me when I was on the city council in the decisions I made and the initiatives that I brought forward. One of the initiatives that I brought forward when I was on the city council was moving the council meetings from the daytime to the evening. And I met that with resistance from my colleagues. But the public rallied behind me, and we got those meetings moved to the evening. And it was good for the public because it gives the public better access to City Hall. You know, if you don't want change, don't vote for me. I'm a trailblazer. That's what I do. And at this point in time in the city of Riverside, we need strong leadership, somebody that can make a decision and take a stance. You know, the city of Riverside has been good to me and my family, and I want to give back to the city. That's why I'm running for mayor. We can never forget that the most important part of this city is the people that call it home. And I get that, and that's why I want your vote on November 6th.
Thank you, Mr. Adkison. We're going to begin with the first question. We'll start with Mr. Adkison. What was the city's greatest economic development success while you were on the city council? And what leadership did you provide to make that happen? 90-second response, please.
Okay, I think the biggest economic success that the city had was the initiation of the Renaissance program. And I think it ended up spending about $1.5 billion. What we did is we consolidated all the capital improvement projects that we needed to do over the next 30 years. We consolidated those into a 5-year period of time. And that generated just a tremendous amount of jobs during that. And I know we're coming to a close on that, on the Renaissance. There's just a few projects left, but just the amount of capital put into the city of Riverside and the jobs it created was significant.
We are in what was your ward, and as it relates to the Renaissance, how did your ward benefit?
I think there's a lot of things in the ward that benefited. There was the Van Buren overpass over the 91 freeway. You had the Van Buren widening project in between the 91 and Magnolia. CBU here played a significant part while this was going on as well in expanding their college. We have the redevelopment of the California Square that is coming along and just now getting completed. So those are some of the items that occurred. The Jackson Street overpass, we extended the Victoria Avenue from Tyler out to La Sierra.
Thank you. Mr. Bailey, you have 30 seconds rebuttal.
30 seconds rebuttal or 1 minute?
Do we want to give him his chance to answer 90 seconds or the rebuttals after both questions?
Okay, so I don't get to answer that full question?
Hold on a second.
Economic
Is it
development?
intended that Rusty give a 90-second response first, or does he rebut what Mr. Adkison just said? After the full question. Okay, Rusty, you have 90 seconds to give your response. It's not part of the rebuttal period.
The Renaissance definitely has done a great work across the city in all 7 wards. I think is why one of the reasons why it was so successful. It wasn't just centered in downtown. Every ward and almost every neighborhood was touched by the Renaissance and the dollars that were invested in it. And I think that what I have seen out there, people appreciate that, and there's a return on the investment. You can see that the elected officials that participated in that and voted on that were reelected. I think the greater economic development question is, how do we weather the storm over the last 5 years? And we've done that. We've balanced our budget. We still have a $40 million reserve. And compared to other cities across the state, that is the economic development success story that I want to tell. Also, we have what's called a Bringing It Home campaign. And the Convention and Visitors Bureau has started that in the last year, looking at everybody out in the city of Riverside and saying, you're a bridge to economic development by establishing and connecting to your networks and bringing those events, bringing those businesses to Riverside for tourism dollars. And I have done that with a connection I had with the Association of Volleyball Professionals, bringing beach volleyball to downtown Riverside, and that was $1 million economic impact. I also did that with California History Day. As a government teacher, I connected with the decision makers that brought California History Day to Riverside now every other year. That's a $500,000 economic impact, as well as a synchronized swimming national championships coming next year, another $500,000 economic impact.